Pretty big number this week in the theaters to check out new films, theaters, and for home streaming. We'll run them down. 9. Count them 9. It's not an even number, but it's good for us. Welcome. This is the Screening Room Podcast. She is Hope Madden.
He's George Wolf.
And where we're going to... let's start with the families first. How about that?
First up on the big screen, the live-action adaptation of the 2016 Disney animated film, Moana.
There it is, live action. You can just count it. They're going to have the animated version, then they're going to have the live action version. That's just what to expect now. They probably got it mapped out from here to infinity.
Wouldn't it be funny if they did a Toy Story one? Like if we had people dressed like toys, that would be stupid. It would be stupid. Don't do it.
Weird. Let's not go there.
No.
We're going to Moana, and it's back with Dwayne Johnson reprising his role.
That's right.
As the demigod.
That's
and
right.
pretty much sticking to the same story, right?
Yeah, it's basically shot for shot. Yeah, I mean, the big difference, of course, her name is Catherine Lagaea. I apologize if I got that wrong. And she is Moana.
I think that's close. I heard her say it in an interview, and I think that's at least close.
She's spunky. She does a fine job. She's a good singer. And she is Moana, and it's ancient times. And she is the daughter of the chief of a Polynesian island. She will be the next chief. And the island is dying because 1,000 years ago, Maui stole the heart of the sea. And now she's got to cross the reef, find Maui, take him to return it to the goddess, and then hopefully break the curse. And it's a fun, sweet, it's a nice movie. It was a nice movie when it was an animated movie. It's a nice movie. And Maui is a fun character. He's a shapeshifter, arrogant. And of course, Dwayne Johnson did the voice in the first place. And he also kind of looks like him anyway. I mean, he's a big dude. He's got plenty of real estate for the tattoos.
Yep. It's a good look. It's a striking look.
It is, and it's a beautiful film. It's on islands in the ocean, and it's beautiful. It's just that it seems so especially pointless. Especially, I think, probably because Moana 2 came out just a couple years ago. So it just seems too soon. And also the characters that they run into on their journey, right? There's this giant, gold encrusted, like bedazzled crab, still voiced gloriously by Jermaine Clement. Jermaine, we love him. And then there are these like coconut pirates, and then there's this big fire goddess. And the thing is, they all look animated. They all look like cartoons. Mm-hmm. It's just there's not very much about this movie that doesn't make you go, I really should just watch the cartoon. And
I mean, you brought up a good point in your written review about one of our favorite Disney live actions from back in the day, Jungle Book.
I think our very favorite one, yeah.
And that was, believe me, that was sacred ground to me, because when I was a kid, the Jungle Book was it for me. And
it really was.
I was so tentative about that, and I thought Jon Favreau and team did such a great job. The voice casting was fantastic. And even though the story was pretty much the same, like you said, the animals looked different. They didn't look like, I mean, they were CGI, obviously, but they looked really good, and they didn't look like animated. They looked more like animals.
And it was motion capture.
Yeah.
And so the actors had some say in it, and the voices really matched the characters. But you're right. I mean, and of all the ones like the Lion Kings, the ones that have done animals since then, none of them have looked as good as the Jungle Book. And also the casting was just inspired. It was so great. I love that one. But they've had some others that were fine. Beauty and the Beast was fine.
I thought so. Huh?
I thought really Lilo and Stitch from a couple of years ago, they did a fine job because, it's set in Hawaii. So it's actually as pretty as the cartoon. There were a lot. I mean, there've been some that have been fine. But I think the two biggest differentiators, one is, has it been a long time since the animated film came out? And two, is there anything else happening that makes us want to, you know what I mean? That makes it worthy of a live action. Were there no animated version, I think this would be a very nice family film. But there is, and it's not that old. And there's really no difference, including, Maui.
Yeah, but there is the aspect that you always have a younger generation of kids coming up. So maybe this might be the first one they see. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you've always got the family's involved.
I read somebody made a good point that, people remake Jane Austen films 100 times. People remake Shakespeare 1,000,000 times. And everybody's like, oh, it's a new version of Macbeth. I'm going to watch that now. So, you have that, but the fact that this is really a shot-for-shot remake, I think takes some of that away. It feels like a rerun.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you bring up the question, is it necessary? Well, what movie is necessary? It's not necessary, or it is necessary until you see it.
Yeah.
And then how do they do with it? But yeah, not bringing anything new, and especially having it look sometimes animated is at least a little curious.
Yeah.
When you want to avoid the cash grab label. But for a new generation, I guess maybe this is going to be their Moana. We'll see. But like you said, if it was going to be a standalone, then this would be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it just seems like retreading.
Yeah.
Retreading for Moana for the families. That is on all the big screens right now.
Next, the latest in the Evil Dead franchise. After the loss of her husband, a woman seeks solace with her in-laws. As one by one they transform into deadites, she comes to discover that the vows she took in life survive even in death. Evil Dead Burn.
So don't let the kids wander into this by
No.
mistake.
No.
Now, this is a franchise where, speaking of doing something differently,
Yeah.
they have been for the last several years.
Yeah.
And some fans are divided about that. And some fans like it better. Because if you go way back in the day with the original Bruce Campbell's and Sam Raimi, of course, it was very much of a splatter comedy.
Yeah.
Some real yuck Three Stooges things going on. And I know that has massive fans.
Yes.
Like, that's just not my thing. It's not my thing. So when they did the 2013 one with Fede Alvarez, yes.
Yeah.
And that still had a layer of
comedy,
but
dark,
not
very dark.
Yeah, very dark, and not nothing like the whole big eyebrow stuff.
No.
But so now, since then, they've gone with Evil Dead Rise, where they still kept it pretty much contained to that high rise.
Oh yeah, that was nice. It was a change of pace in the location, because we were not in that cabin in the woods.
Yep.
And I love a good. It's more rarely done. I love a good confined apartment complex horror, and they did a nice job of it.
I still didn't like it as much as the 2013, but I liked it. And now they go with the French connection. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So French filmmaker Sebastian Banachek made this movie, and he made, if you get a chance to see it, 2023, I think he made a movie called Infested. It is actually an apartment complex horror. It is an arachnophobia infestation creature feature, practical effects. Great. I loved it. Oh, there she is.
She is. Got to make an appearance.
Velma. Yeah. And so he does this. And the thing that I think the biggest difference between Evil Dead Burn and the others is that there is very little to no humor. And when they do try to do something humorous, it feels out of place. It just doesn't
forced.
Yeah, it doesn't land at all. There is, of course, the requisite Bruce Campbell sighting as like on all of these photos, framed photos up a wall of a stairwell. There's his headshot, just big as day. So but the humor, it's humorless.
That's how they worked him in to Send Help.
Yeah,
remember, just a big picture on the wall. So that's all right. You know, I'm laughing.
Yeah, but I don't mean that necessarily in a bad way. This movie leans into the sort of the themes of the French extreme horror of the early 2000s, which is my favorite.
Nasty.
My favorite swath of horror films ever are the horror films that come out of France from between like 98 and like 2009.
Yeah, they're not messing around.
No, and this is like that. No, those are. I can only think of one of those films that is supernatural in any way, and this, of course, it is. It's the Deadites. This family, they're mourning the death of their oldest son, and they go to Grandpa's old farmhouse, which is where they're going to, get together and grieve. And of course, he's got a lot of old knickknacks from his travels around the world, including this book and a lot of scribbles in it. And this one page starts with Kundu, and you should not read the rest of it. And I think that the movie packs a lot of nods to the franchise in it, which I think is and Sam Raimi gets a writing credit. I'm not sure how much he wrote of it, but he gets a writing credit along with Florent Bernard and Vanacek, and the two of them also wrote Infested together. You've got a lot of the elements that you need to have. What I think he pulls the most from the earlier films is that crazy camera work. So the camera really moves around, it creeps and crawls, but he takes it to a new level. It crawls up the wall, it rolls. There's a lot of
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Even in the trailer, when I see it goes along. I mean, it's not, they didn't invent this shot, but when I see a shot like that, ground level zooming out in the woods, I instantly I think Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Oh,
It's
exactly.
a trademark now.
Oh, exactly. And they take it, I think, to in really brilliant new directions. And the action choreography in this is spectacular, especially this one really long winding shot through the house where there's just chaos everywhere. It's so well shot. It's so well staged, the action and the horror in this movie. And it's nasty, relentless, grim is what this movie is. And it from the first minute, man, there is nasty carnage, like grim, mean carnage, and it never stops. It just never lets up.
That sort of falls in line with that French horror
exactly,
that you were talking about. Yeah. Relentless, nasty, and grim.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's and I think that there are going to be, I know of one friend of ours who is also a horror filmmaker, and he called it a sourpuss movie. He did not care for it, and I can see, though I really did like it. And I think, you did too, because you really don't like the early Evil Deads, and that you only start liking them at Fede Alvarez 2013.
I mean, it's entertaining. It's just too much humor for me. Too much humor for me. That's all.
I think this one feels the least like an Evil Dead film. It tonally, it doesn't seem like
I get that. Yeah.
Very well, but I like it, and I like it as an inclusion. I did think that Evil Dead Rise, especially because they got it out of the woods, they took it someplace new geographically. I thought that made it seem like a very interesting, very new, version of.
I liked Evil Dead Rise as well.
Oh yeah, I did too. Yeah.
I thought it did some great things with the camera, the peephole, and then the parking garage and things like that. Yeah, I think all of it now has built into a solid franchise.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that they're doing something. They're taking incremental steps. Mm-hmm. You eventually had to take it a little more outside. You had to.
You did. Yeah.
And let somebody else give it their vision. And this is unrelenting.
Yes.
And what's the scroll down? What's the running time there?
But it's an hour and 50 minutes.
And
stay through the credits.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about it while you're watching it, you're like, oh no, that's got to come back at some point. And it does. And actually, it's one of my favorite stingers of the year. It's fun.
Yeah.
So
be sure to stay through it all. And another good one in the franchise, Evil Dead Burn. It's nice when you're really looking forward to something and it pays off.
Yes.
And so this is one. Evil Dead Burn in the theaters.
Also on the big screen, Joe and Angela's marriage is on thin ice when they invite their enigmatic upstairs neighbors for a dinner party. The night spirals into unexpected places. The Invite.
We're looking forward to this one too.
Definitely, we're looking forward to this one. It's gotten a lot of buzz, and I see why now, because it is really well done adult film. A lot of times adults, say that, well, there's nothing really out there. There's superheroes this. I got to take my kids to the Minions and blah, 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 blah. Well, here you go. We said that about Black Bag a year or so ago.
Yeah.
This is a good one for the adults because there's a lot to relate to, and there's a lot to that's funny and insightful, poignant, and really just some great performances. And it's basically just four people in this movie. And it comes from a stage play that was then made into a movie by the writer of the stage play. It was called The People Upstairs. And so now it's called The Invite, but it involves the people upstairs. And it's the one couple downstairs is Olivia Wilde, who also directs, and Seth Rogen. And when we meet them, they're getting ready because that night, the upstairs neighbors, Edward Norton and Penelope Cruz, are coming down. And she is just, she's nervous. She's giddy as a schoolgirl. She wants to impress these people because she, the neighbor, is so pretty and the husband is so cool, and she's desperate to impress them. Meanwhile, Seth Rogen's like, you didn't tell me this was tonight. And that's why I didn't get wine on the way home. So they're just bickering from the start, and you get the feeling pretty quickly that, they're not on their best terms here after how many years of marriage. And so Seth doesn't really want them to come over. But it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And they make the best of it. And once they do show up, and then it is really just confined to this apartment. And so that you can easily see why or how it would be a play. And Olivia Wilde as a director, it's a pretty darn good job because she's got to try to make that cinematic in somehow for your eye. you're just in this apartment. So there are ways that she finds with, of course, mirrors and doorways and windows and frames and different shots. So there's only a couple times where it looks a little too showy. Other than that, it just finds natural ways to work with the confines of this apartment. So good job there. She also gives a great performance. All four of them do,
Yes.
as you would expect,
Yeah.
with this type of veteran foursome and falling into their characters who are maybe not, especially the upstairs neighbors, maybe not all you think they are at the beginning, because they just seem so perfect because they are so good looking and they are very suave and well kept. Where the two downstairs, he's been working all day, his back hurts. You know,
he looks like Seth Rogen.
She's been sweating over this party, and so a little more sweaty and unkempt
Yeah.
from the upstairs neighbors. But so it starts with very polite banter and compliments about the rug. Some people love rugs. Let me tell you about that. They love their rugs. And then it starts turning into a little bit more. Little secrets get revealed, and maybe some provocative things get thrown out there on the table to see how it feels. And you can probably guess where it might go. But it's funny in a very dark sometimes, but biting and awkward type of way, especially because Seth Rogen, you can tell, and the upstairs neighbors can tell, he doesn't want them to be there, and they're just kind of having fun with that. And there are things he wants to say. In fact, he tells Olivia Wilde, you know what? That I'm just going to tell them they've got to cut down on all those wild sex noises that we're hearing all the time. Don't you bring that up. Don't you bring that up. So is he going to bring it up? I don't know. But there are some awkward moments, but it is funny. And this is one especially for long-term couples and for people that have been in long-term relationships, because there are so many things to relate to. And it's funny, and yes, you're going to, but it's also poignant about the things that people, sometimes little things, inconsequential things at the time, that grow and drive people apart. And then the sort of work and honesty that it takes to maybe find common ground and come back together. So it's also very emotional and heartfelt. It's well written. The writers, we haven't even mentioned yet, Rashida Jones.
That's right.
Is one of the writers. Yes, the actress Rashida Jones. She's got a few writing credits now. And Will McCormick. And they adapt the original, which we haven't seen, but I think they do a great job, because the way how they take this material, which was a French film first, I believe, and make it just so relatable, and something that adults will find funny, but yet satisfying and speak to them as well. So yeah, this was one other one that we were looking forward to, and it's impressive. It's not the funniest movie we saw this week. We're coming to that, but it's still funny in an adult, very insightful sort of way. So big recommendation. Well done all around for The Invite, which is in theaters now.
And in theaters, when her fiance uses their celebrity pass agreement, Midwest bride Gail Daughtry travels to Hollywood seeking revenge by pursuing her own celebrity encounter. Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass.
Now here is the funniest movie we saw this week, and the
sure.
funniest movie probably we've seen all year.
Yes, I think that's true.
This thing is nuts.
It is. David Wynn directed it, and of course he did Wet Hot American Summer and Role Models as well. And he co-writes it with Ken Marino, who's nuts. And it's nuts.
Ken Marino, if you don't know, you know his face. He's been stealing scenes in comedies for years.
From greats.
For years.
Like Jane Lynch. If you can steal a scene from Jane Lynch, you know you're
But he's a co-writer and a co-star.
Yeah. Oh my God. And it's just so funny. And Zooey Deutz plays Gail Daughtry. And she couldn't be more perfect. She's exactly the tone that the movie needs. And she and her, they've been together since grade school, and they're about to get married. And she brings up this funny idea of a celebrity sex pass, and then lo and behold, he meets his and has sex with her. So then, to save their relationship, she has to meet and have sex with John Hamm, and that's the whole quest. And it's so funny, and the cast is so great. There are a million cameos. The comedy is so random.
Yeah.
It's just a blast.
It just feels like a cult classic in waiting, because really the last 2 or 3 days since we've seen this, we've been throwing out lines to each other and then this and that. And I think this movie just invites that. It's so crazy in the places that it goes. And because Gail is a small town girl from Kansas who wears ruby red shoes. This really leans into the Wizard of Oz comparisons. It really, in funny ways. And you're right, all these cameos and all these different side tracks that pop up on the way to LA, because she heads out there with her best friend. They're both hairdressers.
Yes.
And they're going to the big hair show in LA. And she has to track down John Hamm. And it's just so funny. I mean, it runs the gamut from some smiles and some yucks to laughs to real belly laughs. Yeah. And some of them, in the one case, maybe my biggest laugh, I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. And even they did it. And I laughed so hard. Because usually when you know something is coming, it lessens the impact. No, this is one of those that it finds a gag, and you can see one in the trailer where it holds the gag so long, it becomes funny, not funny, and then funny again, because they just keep doing it. So this thing is just a riot. It really is. It is so fun. It is a vibe from the word go. And if it is in your lane of humor, you're going to be laughing, and you're going to be laughing a lot. Yes. And this is another one to be sure to stay through the credits, because there's an extra whiz bang at the end just for good measure. But man, and Zoe Deutsch, I'll tell you, she's just good.
She is.
She's a versatile actor.
I love her, especially in comedies. Though.
And she's got great comic timing, real comedy chops. Yeah. And she's up against some vets here. It's not like she's a rookie. She's been in plenty of films here, but she's just good. And you're right. She's the perfect fresh faced, everything's, coming up roses kind of girl for this role. And also for the big ensemble, I want to give a shout out to Ben Wang.
He's so funny in this.
He's this CAA agent in waiting, and he's so understated and funny. He gets off some.
He's a kid.
Yeah. Under his breath asides that are really, really funny, as this, it takes on Hollywood and the paparazzi and celebrity culture and all kinds of different and agents and all kinds of different movie genres. It's just funny.
It's funny.
We laughed, and we laughed a lot. So hard. I just looked up at the trailer, and I remember this other thing this guy keeps saying that we keep saying to each other. I don't want to spoil any of it because it's a riot. It's Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass. It's in theaters now.
And a sci-fi thriller, an astrophysicist's alien discovery forces him and his family to flee their home, chased by a mysterious pursuer. Their escape tests the limits between cosmic truth and paranoia. The Outer Threat.
Okay, this is not in theaters.
No,
it's on Prime.
Yes.
Okay, and it's sci-fi. It's kind of extraterrestrial, but it's one where I think if you are going to have it going in hoping that it scratches the ET itch that maybe Disclosure Day didn't for you, the trailer makes you think it's a movie that it really isn't. Not that it's bad. No. It just goes somewhere differently. And it's writer and director William Woods. And it centers on a couple. They're both scientists. They live out in the woods. Constance Wu and Mark O'Brien. And they're not married. And you get the feeling that if he doesn't quit spending all his time underneath his big observatory and trying to find absolute proof of alien life, they're not going to be married anytime soon, because she keeps telling him that you're spending too much time there. You're not spending with the kids. They got these teen kids. But this time he swears it's different. This time he has proof. He has undeniable proof of alien life. Well, he meets with his contact at NORAD, and he's not listening anymore. This is the boy who cried wolf type of thing. It's like, go away. We're not listening. But he finally gets Constance Wu to look at his findings, and she's finally on board. She believes him, but she says they can't disclose this information. Well, he emails his findings to a trusted and somewhat mysterious contact over email, and instantaneously everything changes. The family is pursued by an unknown threat, and they have to run for it. And then it shifts gears. You think it's leading toward this alien adventure, and it's really not. It becomes sort of a young adult or a very family and kid-centered race against time. But it's well put together. It's well acted. It's just, and you get William Fichtner shows up in the third act cameo. He's always good. Sort of sinister. Yeah. Is he trying to help? What's going on? Is he part of the people that are chasing us? So it has a throwback vibe. If you saw the really, really good movie from a few years ago called The Vast of Night,
Oh
it's not
yeah.
as good as that, but
No.
it's sort of in that territory. It becomes centered on some younger people and family bonds and things like that. So as long
You
as you
love The Vast of Night.
Vast of Night was
Yeah, it
great.
was
It's one
good.
of
It
those that I
was.
knew nothing about and came out of there going, this movie is
Yeah.
really, really good.
Yeah.
But this one is fine. It's fine. Just don't expect it to be a great extraterrestrial type of sci-fi movie because it's really not. It's more of a family adventure, but it's totally fine. And it's on Prime Video now. It's called The Outer Threat.
Next up, a thriller as a series of perverse scam calls unsettles an idyllic retirement community. A starry-eyed nurse becomes entangled with her mysterious patient, Night Nurse.
This is a weird one. This is a strange film. So I'm not sure where this retirement home village is, but it's nice. It's nice. And a young
Is it The
nurse.
Villages in Florida?
I don't think so. A
I
young
hope
nurse,
not.
and she's played by Kemray Paksoy. She's really very good, and there is something mysterious about her. You don't know where she has come from, but she's applying for this job at this place. Mimi Rogers runs the place, and she's going to be assigned specifically to one resident. This older man who's got a like Hugh Hefner kind of vibe about him. He's always wearing pajamas. He's got this really great sultry voice, and he's just always flocked by hot young nurses in nurses uniforms. And you're like, what? Like, what? And it's very sexual. And it's, and what happens is he kind of just automatically, he like wraps her up in this phone cord because he uses a landline, and he just like pushes her against the wall, and he says really sultry in her ear, repeat after me. And she's always like, say grandpa, grandpa. And what they wind up doing in this weird sex play is scamming other residents out of their money by saying, she needs money to get her out of jail and blah, blah, blah. And it escalates and sort of bad things happen. The story doesn't always hold water for sure. And the climax feels a little bit out of left field, a little bit too tidy, a little bit extreme. But it's writer-director Georgia Bernstein, and man, she creates an atmosphere. Like, it's really, well, seductive. You're like, the whole time, I'm like, why? What am I? What? I was angry like 20 minutes in. I'm like, get out, stop it. But I didn't give up. I just kept watching it. So there is something here. It's weirdly compelling, not entirely satisfying, but I thought about it for a long time after.
Just wait till Edward Norton and Penelope Cruz show up.
That's right.
Then things are going to get crazy. And that one is in theaters.
It is in theaters.
That is Night Nurse, kind of a weird thriller. Grandpa's got a landline.
Next up, a horror comedy documentary. A struggling director documents his journey making a mockbuster in 6 days, descending into the chaotic world of low-budget filmmaking. Mockbuster.
I love when they come up with these new names. We had the Geezer Teaser.
That's right.
From a few years ago,
That's
and
right.
now we've got the Mockbusters.
That's right. That's right. It's and that's that's a real term that they use for
so I know.
shark, like Sharknado. The group, the studio that makes Sharknado and makes a lot of movies like Sharknado and makes them so frequently that they have 6 days to film them, and you have exactly this much money to film them. And Anthony Frith is a Australian filmmaker. He's not really getting much of an opportunity, so he just emails this studio and asks, can I direct a movie? And they're like, yeah, absolutely.
6 days.
That's true. That's what happened. So he wants to direct this movie. At the same time, he wants to make a movie that's sort of worth watching. So simultaneously he mounts the documentary Mockbuster that we're watching. And our Matt Weiner reviewed this one for us, and he wrote like 800 words on it.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
It was crazy.
It's a way to sort of deep dive into, art versus commerce. And at the same time isn't, because in a way, the reason that the documentary isn't 100% successful is because he really sort of, they're soft jabs at what, like, this is not Heart of Darkness. He kind of brings up fascinating important points about filmmaking, and then dances around them as if not to piss off these guys that hired him.
Yeah.
And they
pulling punches because
and they
someone's
also
paying me.
they also, the producers get a chance to talk about their mockbusters and get a chance to present themselves in the sort of, maverick style that they want to. So it's not always satisfying, but on the whole, it is a really interesting film.
And yeah, Matt's review is up now at MaddWolf.com. Yeah, we thought he was reviewing the Odyssey or something when he turned this in. Like,
well,
he's got thoughts.
Yeah,
no, but that's good though.
It is good.
It obviously made an impression. And that one's on Prime. Mockbuster.
An action western next. A young woman struggles to conceal the gold she stole from violent outlaws who have seized control of her remote outpost, outwitting them amid a deadly winter where survival becomes a game of cunning and betrayal. The Isolate Thief.
Well, you've got a Western and you've got Sean Bean. So right away, I'm thinking, all right.
Exactly.
Well,
yeah, exactly. Brandon Thomas reviewed this one for us. He does love a good Western.
he does.
I do too. He loved this. 4 stars for this movie. Sean Bean shows up. There's a young woman, and she's at this outpost. It's just after the Civil War. She's young. She's played by Mackenzie. Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta scroll to find her name.
Foy.
Yeah, Mackenzie Foy, who I know from the horror film with the clapping.
The Conjuring.
The Conjuring. She's one of the kids in the first Conjuring. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's right. Sure.
Had a stroke.
I knew that
second.
name.
Yeah, and so I'm rooting for her right away. But then, Sean Bean and a handful of other men in soldier suits show up, and they're just as polite as they can be. And right away they're bad men, like they're sinister, nasty men. And the when it gets to the action, Brandon says the action is great. It's exactly the kind of shoot 'em up that you're looking for. But the real terror is generated in the silence, in the calm moments, and I think that speaks to a really good director.
Yes, and Joey Pants. There's a Joey Pants sighting.
There's a Joey Pants sighting.
So yeah, big stuff. Big recommendation from Brandon Thomas. And you can check out his full review for The Isolate Thief. That is at MaddWolf.com.
And that's in theaters.
That is in theaters. So some good choices.
Yeah.
Some good choices this week. And hey, we welcome back for the first time in a while.
Yep.
It's the Schlocketeer.
It's the Schlocketeer.
There he is.
Hey.
How are you?
Welcome.
Pretty good. How are you?
Good.
Doing well. Good to see you. Good to see you. I know it's been a while, so you've got some juicy tidbits of knowledge.
Some weird stuff's been going on lately.
That's fine too.
Of course, there's the movie logging app Letterboxd. I know a lot of film watchers use it. I use it constantly. Apparently, Sony, Netflix, and Paramount are in a bidding war over purchasing it. I guess you could use it as market research. It's really just an app where movie nerds obsessively log everything that they watch. If they really want to know how many 1970s Spanish horror movies I watched last month, more power to them. Just don't mess up my app. But moving beyond, apparently Disney is considering an ad-based free version of Disney Plus, sort of along the lines of Tubi. So that might be rolling out within the next year or so. And Netflix is considering adding live TV channels, which will just autoplay stuff for people if they don't even want to doom scroll for 3 hours while they try to figure out what to watch. And they're also considering service bundles, which a lot of other apps already do. But beyond that, there's a lot of stuff to watch soon. Kenji Tanagaki's The Furious is now available in VOD.
Yeah.
Anyone wants an action opus that rivals the Raid films or the John Wick movies, that's the perfect place to go.
Yeah, it sure does, man.
Andre Overdahl's horror film Passenger is also now available in VOD. And there's a sci-fi action thriller from the Block Island Sound team called Redux that's now available to stream on Hulu. And on the bigger end of things, Backrooms is finally hitting VOD next week on July 14th. And then 3 days later, Obsession will be available to stream on Peacock.
So,
Wow.
they're linked again.
Yeah, they are.
Yes, they are.
Love it. Love
hand in hand. Michael Sarnowski's Hugh Jackman star The Death of Robin Hood is hitting VOD on July 21st.
But that just bombed, didn't it?
Like, really, really badly.
Really
I know they're probably, and I'm not trying to be mean here, but they're probably thankful for the bad box office press that Supergirl and now the Moana movie are now getting, because that one flopped hard and no one noticed.
Well, that's it. I didn't even notice it was out. I don't think I saw one ad for it. I don't know what their plan was.
Well, they came out opposite Toy Story 5, so they weren't going to get number 1 that week, certainly, but
it got buried fast.
It sure did. Yeah.
The Super Mario Galaxy movie will be streaming on Peacock on July 30th. And then Robert Pattinson and Zendaya's movie, The Drama, is finally hitting HBO Max on July 31st.
Yeah, good one.
Pivoting from that one, Neon's comedy Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, will be available to stream on Hulu on July 31st.
That was one I can see a specific type of, if that type of humor appeals to you. I mean, I can see some people thinking it's absolutely hilarious. I thought it was amusing. It didn't hit me in the way that maybe it hit, but I thought it was very clever and very amusing, and really how they pulled off some of these stunts is crazy, because it looked like a lot of them were filmed like out on the street. But I would recommend it definitely.
And then back to flops. Of course, Megan 2.0 flopped last summer. I had fun with it. Not everyone did. But they had already shot a spinoff titled Soulmate that was supposed to come out earlier this year. And it is now finally hitting VOD on August 1st, straight to VOD, no theatrical release. But what interests me about it is it stars Lily Sullivan from Evil Dead Rise. And it's from writer-director Kate Dolan, who did You Are Not My Mother. So fingers crossed on something.
Yeah. Nice.
And then the last thing I've got for you is on September 4th, A24 will release Adam Wingard's sci-fi horror action thriller Onslaught, which stars Adria Arjona, Rebecca Hall, Reginald Vell Johnson, Michael Biehn, and Dan Stevens. Okay. And it is being described by Wingard as a companion film to The Guest. So part of me is hoping that maybe Stevens shows up as someone we already know, but who knows? I guess we'll find out in September.
Wow. Yeah. That's funny, Onslaught, because in the movie we just talked about earlier, The Invite, Seth Rogen's character was in a rock band called The Onslaught. So it just got nice. All right. Well, the Schlocketeer, don't be a stranger.
I won't be.
You can always catch up with Daniel on the socials at the Schlocketeer. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right, sure. Okay, we go from 9 movies this week to just 3 next week. That's because there's a big one.
Yeah,
a big one.
The Odyssey finally comes out next week.
3 hours, right?
Yeah. Yep. Of course.
Yep. 3 hours. We see it Monday. We're taping this on Friday. We see it on Monday.
Yeah.
And excited.
Yep.
Also, one called Cut Off.
Mm-hmm. And In a Cold Vein.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about those next week, but a lot to talk about this week. What do you think about all these? Moana or Evil Dead or The Invite or Gail Daughtry? A lot going on. Keep the conversation going. Easy to find us. MaddWolf Columbus on all the socials. MaddWolf.com is the website for our reviews and the reviews of others contributing.
That's right.
Like Brandon Thomas.
That's right.
That we know that we talked about. Mm-hmm. So check us out. And have a great week, and we'll talk again soon. Until then, she is Hope Madden.
He's George Wolf.
And this is the Screening Room Podcast.
See ya.
I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner. Bye.